guys, I'm here with Marcel Burri, who went into the top 8 of the Swiss Nationals. Congratulations. Which deck did you play?
I played XYZ Monarch.
Okay, so let's go directly to the deck.
Okay, so yeah, I ran like the Monarchs, 3 Rebels and 3 Ether. Pretty standard. I don't see any reason not to play them, like 6 of them. Then I played double Kuras. I played triple Kuras for quite a while, but without Brilliant Fusion I didn't really like the third one, so I cut it down to 2. And then instead added a Majesty's Fiend as the 9th and last tribute monster.
How was Majesty's Fiend this weekend?
It didn't win that many matches, but there were like some of the BA and Cosmo matchups, especially if you could combo with Idea and Eidos, and then you had 2 summons when they were in the grave. It was really strong because you could summon Erebus or Ether and then search the Majesty of the return and then summon him as well. So I think it won some games. It was really okay. I would probably even consider playing a second one inside. It was really good. But for main deck, I think 1 is good because there are a lot of matchups where you don't want to draw Majesty. I actually had one mirror match where my opponent opened with I think 2 Phantasm and triple Majesty's Fiend, and then it wasn't really that good. Then for the small ones, I played 2 Idea and 2 Eidos and 1 Mitra. I think 2 of them were enough because a lot of times you want to do some XYZ plays and then sometimes they just contradict and you can't use the effect, so it's not that good. And 3 of the Squires is also a reason because I played with Quick Draw Synchron. Eidos is really good with Quick Draw Synchron, as in a lot of situations you can just discard him or also him if there's already one of them in the grave, and then you still have the combo with those from the graveyard, which is really strong. So for that purpose I think Eidos is better than Mitra, so you would probably, if you want to summon him, you would like to play like 3 Eidos to always have him. But Mitra was really good this week and I really liked him because sometimes when you go first, if you have Eidos you only have the 1 tribute summon, while if you have the Mitra you can summon twice, tribute summon twice, and if you have a good hand or an average hand, usually that can be really huge to pull that off. And also top 16 match was pretty funny because I opened pretty good and I also had the Mitra and he played Burning Abyss, so I summoned the Mitra, he got the token, and the first thing he had to do was switching the token to attack mode and attack into my Monarch, so he could even start playing.
I think it was even time, right?
Yeah, it was in timeout as well, so I just gained a whole turn there, and he also took damage in the timeout, so it was perfect. It's against Burning Abyss, this card is really good, so in that matchup you would like to have 2 or 3 of those, I think. So I'm really not sure if I want to maybe play 2 of them anyway. Then the quick draws. It's not a really new tech. The deck is around for 2 or 3 weeks now. The combo is pretty simple. Usually you want to go with Quick Draw and another level 5 monster. The easiest way is the trap into the Tzolk'in, the Synchro, I will show you later. And then you can summon the strong level 7 or 8 Dragon type Synchro. But it's actually a combo you don't pull off that often. So I summoned 3 times maybe the whole weekend Synchro like that. But what is really good with him is sometimes the discard, especially after a maxi. It's so good to discard the Eidos or the Idea if one of them is missing, because then you have 2 normal summons, and that's so good, especially after maxi. Then you just win from there. And 2 red layer, pretty standard, I think. Originally I didn't really like the card that much in earlier versions of the deck because I often didn't have it in opening hand and drew it off the Phantasms or Kuras or whatever, but this weekend they were really, really strong. I liked them a lot. And then 2 maxi. Didn't really found the space for the third one. I think I would play 3 now. It's just, in most matchups it's really good. It's good against Cosmo, it's good against Burning Abyss. It's okay against Performer Pal because they can't do full combos if they have perfect hands. And also in the tops, we mostly had XYZ Monarchs and not Domain Monarchs, which actually surprised me a bit. But in that matchup, it's also really good, because especially if they play with Brilliant Fusion. So it was really good, and I think I would play 3. That's it for the monsters. Then spells, yeah, this is really standard. I play 3 Pantheism, 3 Tenacities, 3 Stormforce, 3 Return. This is also standard for the XYZ version, I think. 1 Domain. You could think about playing a second one in case it's destroyed, because sometimes you can only open if you have Domain, but I think 1 is fine. And I also played the Frost Blast. I found this card really good in previous tournaments. It wasn't that great this weekend. I think I never really could destroy a card in a situation where it really mattered. So when for example Cosmo had bad hands, I could destroy their face down Mortals or Calls, but that didn't really matter. So the only good scenarios were basically when I had it in the grave and my opponent was forced to activate some stuff early on. So they had 1 back row, they saw it and they had to activate it, so it's easier to play around the stuff. So it's still like a threat for them that they have to keep in mind. But it was not that great this weekend. But also I played against a lot of decks that played without traps, like Trapless, Burning Abyss, Monarchs and stuff like that. So it's obviously not that good. Foolish Burial. It's really versatile. One thing you always want to have is like the Eidos Edea in the grave to make off the combos. So this is really good to send the second part, or just summon Edea if you want to recycle one of the spells. Or sometimes you can even send the Erebus and take it back, and so you have your tribute monster. So it's really good, I like it a lot. 1 tuning. Didn't really found a space for a second one, and I didn't like it that much. It's like there's some death row potential in it, and yeah, the quick draw is not that important for the deck. It's not like you always want to go for these quick draw combos. It's just if you have them, okay. If not, yeah, not a problem. And then 1 Twin Twister. Originally there were 2 in the deck, but I cut 1 for the Frost Blast, because the Frost Blast is just a Monarch spell trap, so it's useful with the whole engine. So I like that a bit better. And I have to say, for this weekend, this card was horrible. I do it at least, I think, 6 or 7 times in game 1, and not one time it was anyhow good, really not a single time. It was always like, just you could set it down and there was no use for it, so the card was horribly bad. But yeah, I didn't play against Pendulum, and I didn't play against this Demise deck, so yeah, in those matchups it's strong for sure. And 3 Primes. I personally like 3 a lot, because if you're going into the mid and late game, you always want to have 2 in the grave and 1 on the field. The ones in the grave to summon 1 in the end phase, 1 in your turn, so you can XYZ summon, and the other one is just to recycle. You don't run that many Monarch spell traps, so at some point you don't have stuff to send with Erebus and Eder, and then yeah, that's just really bad. So the recycling part is also really important. So yeah, I like 3. And that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards.
40 cards.
Yeah.
And extra.
Extra deck. We have the standard rank 5 XYZ, the Magna Ligger, Durandal, Volcasaurus, Adrius, Shark Fortress, and Pleiades. It's pretty standard. I think you really want to have all of them. I first didn't want to play him, and I didn't summon it this weekend, but sometimes you just have the situation with double trap, or 1 trap, 1 red layer, and then you can summon 1 Monarch, and that's exactly 8,000. So I think it's fine to play it, but you could cut it. It's not super important. And yeah, the other ones is just, they're really good also. You need all of them, I think. This one was really good this week, and I liked it a lot. In the mirror matches, it's so strong. If you know they have Eder in the hand, you can like summon the trap, 1 trap in his turn, then the second trap in your standby phase or draw phase. So in the main phase, the first action you do is just overlay both for Durandal, and if they reveal their Eder, you can just shuffle back the hand, for example. So it's really good there. But this card was really good this weekend. Then we have the Gaia, just to play over the Volcasaurus mainly, or just if you need the piercing damage. 1 Beatrice. This card is, in theory, it's really good. I didn't summon it that often, and it's not really just for the cherry blossoms. It's just if you summon it with Eder, if you have domain, and you use the effect on Eder, then you can make him level 6, you summon him, effect, you summon the Kuras, you can pop cards to draw, and then because he's still level 6, you can overlay for Beatrice. Then in your turn, because you summoned them with level 6 monsters, you can use the effect directly. You can send either Eidos or Edea, and in your opponent's turn you can send the other part. So this is really, really strong as an opening play. But I only made it like twice. I didn't have the hands for that, but it's really strong. And also it's just there if you needed to remove or to reveal for the Cherry Blossoms against Burning Abyss. Then one Dante. You run the Dante over the Pilgrim usually because you want to save one space in the extra deck. You play the Dante mainly also for the Cherry Blossoms. And yeah, if this is destroyed, which doesn't happen that much because you can tribute it, or he tributes it, or he banishes it, or whatever. They don't want to destroy it usually. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You summon Dante if it happens, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter if you don't have the Pilgrim anyway. Harbinger, never made him, but I think it's okay to have at least the one rank 8 exceed. And then the synchro part is the Ultima Tolkien that we spoke about. You can summon him by sending the quick draw and one level 5 monster to the graveyard, and you summon him in defense. You set any card you have, like you set one, and then his effect triggers and summon out one of the dragons. And yeah, I played those 3, or actually those 4. Yeah.
So why do you mention exactly those 3, or basically those 4?
Okay, so I think this one is the most important one. I really like the Crystal Wing. It's super strong. It's usually if you don't know against what you play or whatever, you just summon the Crystal Wing. It's like good against every deck. It has 3000 attack, it can negate monster effects, so without spell trap removal it will always negate something. And yeah, this is obviously against Performer Pass stuff, and this is if you need to clear a board. And this year I didn't like this much, and I was always considering to play him or the Spark Dragon. Yeah. And I decided for him in the end because it's okay against Cosmo. I still summoned the Crystal Wing first, and then the second one would be the Belsen defense. That's a big problem for them. But yeah, that never came really up. I never summoned him, and also that was a bit of a problem in the top 8. I didn't have it on my deck list, so yeah, I got a game loss for that in the top 8, which was really unfortunate and really stupid from my side. The reason is I was considering to play him or the Spark Dragon, and I wasn't sure yet because the side wasn't built yet. I would have played Spark Dragon with Floodgates like Decree or Mask of Retreat or something, and I thought I already wrote it down on the list, and I didn't, so yeah, really stupid from my side, but yeah. It was a bit unfortunate to get a game loose for a card you never summoned and was basically useless the whole weekend.
So 15, or actually 14 cards in the extra deck.
Yeah.
And for the side?
The side deck was the third Maxi.
Yep.
Yeah, I sided this in like I think every game. Double Whaler. This was really good also. Would maybe even consider playing a third one. It's really good in a mirror match. It's good against at least the Island Cosmo deck if they make their combo plays. You can summon, you can negate the Strawman or the Sword Trooper, or just wait for the exceeds. Like I had one game in the last round of Swiss when I had to open and I had double Maxi, double Effect Whale and Erebus in the hand against Cosmo, and I was like, oh, not too great, but maybe I can draw some cards with Maxi, and with double Whaler I should probably survive because I can negate his key cards. And so yeah, I negated the first Strawman, he summoned more, he went into Levier to pull off his combo, and then Levier was waited as well, and then I had so many cards in hand and he had just nothing. He had Levier with the island still on the field and 3 cards in hand or something, so it was really good there. And in the mirror match it was amazing. I had the first round, my opponent in the mirror match had 2 Fog Kings, and I had both Whaler to reduce them to 0, which was really important to get rid of them. Then 3 Cherry Blossom. I still think it's an okay card. I never ever used it. I drew it exactly once against Burning Abyss when I had 3 monsters on the field, so not too helpful at all. So I'm not sure. I think it's really okay, but not super important. I thought it's better in theory than it really was. Then what I really liked were the Cyber Dragons, and also the Fortress Dragon. In the Cosmo matchup, if you know or if you assume you go second, this is usually better than Quick Draw and also better than Red Layer, as there is always a monster, so you can summon him off. And I mean, if they do nothing, it's like red layer also. So it's just the monster you can sacrifice, you can exceed with it. It's also level 5, but usually it will just immediately force an answer from your opponent. It will be, oh, like Cyber Dragon, I have to do something. They summon Destroyer, and then they don't have the Destroyer anymore, and you can go for the Stormfall or for the Exceeds plays or whatever. So this was really good. I would probably play 3 now and 2 Fortress Dragon. I really like the card a lot. Then 2 remaining Twin Twisters. Yeah, just against Mask of Restrict or against Floodgate decks, Demise decks and stuff. And yeah, the worst part of the side deck at that point. Yeah, a shout out to Eugen Heid at that point. It was really cool. I played basically with 11 side deck cards, I felt. It was Artifact Engine with only 2 Sanctum. It's probably pretty okay against Pepe, and I didn't play any, but I felt it was really not that good against Burning Abyss, especially the versions that we saw this weekend. Because, I mean, even if you deny them the extra deck for 1 turn, some players run Fog King, which just can completely screw you over, or they just wait for 1 turn. I just didn't feel like it did that much. And also, it was just some kind of oversiding. If you want to side this, probably Twister, if you knew they were masks, then you had to side them as well, the 3rd Maxi. It was just too much, I think, and yeah, I really didn't like it. I didn't side it every game. So, yeah.
So, that's it basically. Any shoutouts?
Yeah, shoutouts of course to my teammates, especially also again Eugen. He was the one which helped me at the end to build the deck, to make some final choices of the deck. It was really helpful, and yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, so that's it.